Hi, loves. Hi, loves. You know, I just epiphanized on something. I was telling Joe's about how I thanked Heavenly Father for having that death experience when I was 9. It wasn't the first time I died, but boy, with 9, that one was full on when after that car accident, or during that car accident, I should say, as the cars were spinning, my head got smashed in my mom's Oldsmobile in the back of the car. And I pulled away and I was in this heavenly light. And I went up to this river. And I was in the middle of this river. It was like, it was an island in the middle of this huge, beautiful river. And it was an ancient river bed because all the rocks were round. So I knew it was very ancient. And there were daisies all around and pretty green grass. And I was in a little white dress with chain of daisies around my head. And I was only all at 9, so I was still a little thing. And I saw this huge mountain and the mighty sequoias along this riverbed. This huge purple mountain majesty that was just magnificent to see. And I was in that heavenly light, you know, in that energy. And not everybody gets that kind of an experience. So I was blessed abundantly to know and have that experience, to have that death experience, to know that it's not over when it's over. It's just the beginning, you know, and to not be afraid of it. And you turn away from the darkness and towards the light where the roses are at night. And my body is in a great deal of pain in this physical experience right now. It's insane. My body has been in pain, heart, mind, soul, and spirit for a long time now, loves. 3 years going full on. 720 since I took the fall, and I still, God, I'm suffering. But that's okay. I know we could get my radio if they zap me again, get me out of pain. Hey, I had some relief, at least enough where I didn't have to drink. Now it's hanging on tight and biting on a lot of, you know, my new stick. She's taking a bite, yeah. We bear on things, you can bear the pain, just transfer the energy, and we're learning more as we go, loves. And we're going to learn more about crystal light energies and how they can heal us. And we already know this technology and frequencies, healing frequencies we're zeroing in. Everyone's different to their physiology. Some like the high tones and high vibes. Whoops. Ashes to ashes. I'll quit smoking. I've almost got a home. I have faith that we'll get it, you know. I have faith, and if we don't get that home, something else will show up. Yeah. So, away we go, you know. Got my comb, got my, you know, my torch. That's great for the candles that get really deep that you can't reach them with matches. It's awful. So that takes care of that. I can light the fire I need to light. Isn't that right? Isn't that right? Right. That heavenly light. And that's what we turn back to, because when I came out of my body and I was floating away from the earth and watching the car spin, the further I got away from the earth, the more I was in this light. The more I was in this light. Right there. Just like that. And it was like a bathtub, you know. And I had no fear. And it was so warm and so full of love. And I just kept floating above. I kept floating higher and higher above the earth until I saw the whole earth. I saw the whole earth, loves, from above. Yeah, and I was in that light. And I became one with that light. I had the outline of a body, but it was filled with this light. Kind of like in the movie Cocoons with Ron Howard. Best piece of work he ever did. Flat barn hunt. Best movie I ever seen as far as a representation of our really true being. That light that lives on. It's like a living Akashic, you know. And I remember being a tree and living for thousands and thousands of years. And just being still in the earth, just an observer. just observing creation over thousands and thousands and thousands of years. Yes, that's true. I remember the tree, my God. Being a tree, excuse me. Gotta lean back and get out. Ow. Yeah, my left quadrant spasming. It's okay. I got my magnet. Got my magnet around my ankle to help until I could get surgery. I get that all fixed because everything is all behind. And ow. And a ball back there. And my left lower back. I'm not going to show you, Jack. You don't want to see it. And I don't want to show it. That's okay. We're in the light anyway. And hey, what's that over there? What's that right there? Is that the Bible? Or the Bible? Or, what do I say, Joe? I say basic instructions before leaving Earth.
Leaving Earth.
Right. You know, Bible. You know,
yeah.
Bible.
Yeah.
Basic instructions. Before leaving Earth. Isn't he magnificent? He knows it. He lives it. Yes. And we're in it, you know? And he is my guardian. And he makes sure that I eat and I get to store it. He carries the loads I can't, and he has for how long now, Joe? About 2 years. Yeah. He's carried my load. Kept me alive, and you know, we were supposed to be man and wife. We were. You know, we were supposed to be, but our wedding day kept getting canceled. Yes. First it was June of 19. Then it was June of 20. But he was up Los Animas. And they had him in sling up that ass. Up Los Animas. For 4.5 months for trespassing. Because some people left us on the mountain. Because of Michael Rubin. I'm not saying last names. Don't have to, man. For some shape, just for some shape, reason or another. That's what I was trying to say. It's beyond me. But we got left on that mountain. The situation got desperate with our little puppy Dubai, our little chit. You know, Chihuahua pit bull, little chit. CHIT. I'm not cussing. But anyway, so quite nefarious, you know. Yeah, and we've suffered because of that. But now we're independent, aren't we, Joe?
Yeah.
We are separate, and that's all we know, right?
Yeah.
That's it. I don't own him. He don't own me. I don't, you know, we hold our gold. If anybody knows anything about celibacy, yeah, we gird our loins, unlike many of those who cannot even control their loins. It's awful. A lot. Isn't it, Joe?
Yeah.
Why is it so awful, Joe?
Because it has to be the lusting again.
Oh, and yep. Hey, you're so magnificent. And what kind of lusting would that be in the enslavement to the body?
Yeah.
Right? That's one enslavement, sexuality, right? And are there not a plethora of other enslavements to the body you can get into? That could tempt you, yeah? But that's sexuality, and that's pretty powerful, isn't it, man?
Yeah.
That's the most powerful, right, man? Right, Joey?
Yeah.
The power of sexuality?
Yeah.
And should it really be denied between a man and his bride?
Yeah.
But between a man and his bride. Not a man and his bitch or his hoe.
No.
No, because women, whoa, man, are not bitches or hoes. They're a woman. You're supposed to take care of them. Isn't that right, Joe?
Yeah.
Like your mama, right?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you took great care of your mama, didn't you?
Tried to.
Oh, no, he did. He loved his mama. He wasn't perfect. Who is? We're all a work in progress. Progress. Not perfection. We're under construction. Yeah. So, anyway. Yeah. Through inspiration, you know, because Kim Clement said, to lift your voice in praise and majesty for God's magnificence and for his stations, okay? For his angels that come in the night who keep us with him in his heavenly light. And even if all these lights were to go out, well, that little one over there with my dad's flag, there's Robert William Ryder, whose father, John, I believe Wayne Ryder, gave his life for the country and the freedom and liberty for freedom of speech, rights, civil rights, the Declaration of Independence, our Constitution, and yeah, we can't be losing. Right now we're losing. Right? No, we can't be having it at all. I understand they're opening internment camps for COVID now. They release it. They don't control it. They give a major vaccine. Now we're supposed to be protected. Now what? Now we're nothing? You guys are supposed to protect us. Instead you're killing our children.
You know what they call?
Well, listen.
Remember I told him what it is?
No, you say it.
Human herders. They wound them up.
It's the same as Nazi Germany.
Yeah. Well.
And it shouldn't be happening in our country at all. But because Heavenly Father is the only one who can make this call, and if God has given them the power to do so, well, I don't know where we're going to go, what's going to happen in the world. But I have faith, because George Washington in 1777 outside of Valley Forge is exactly where our place is right now in time. And he was an Aquarius too, and so was Lincoln, just like me, little old me. For our country. My grandfather gave his life for my liberties, your liberties, everybody's liberties. And I especially gave him up, but I'd gladly do it for you, because he was an honorable sacrifice. John Whitwright. So, yeah, that was in World War II. So, yeah, what do we do? Now, during this prophecy of George Washington in 1777, there outside of Valley Forge, you can look it up, Wikipedia, and Google it, please. He prayed. George Washington would often go out alone and pray. Just have one guard, so he could have space just to be alone with the Lord. Being alone in the heavenly light of inspiration and manifestation, you know. And pray in humility for our country and freedom from tyranny. And the COVID that you've done is absolutely tyrannical. And Fauci, when he knew all about AIDS and HIV, in the 90s, 80s and 90s, he kept it in France and let it go and take a dance till it came to my front doorstep and killed my family. HIV. But that was a different plan, man. That was a plan to get rid of the faggots, IV drug users, and the prostitutes. Pretty nefarious, but hey, it was a plan. Too bad my little son Jacob got in the way of that stinkiness, not nice nastiness. I just happen to live from it, and I'm seeing it repeat itself again, but worse. Now they're gonna, okay, so they give us a virus. China releases it from a lab that Fauci's associated with. He paid for it. He's making money off it, if I'm right. Please check my facts, 1333. Please check my facts. Please check my facts. Don't react, Jax. I'm just giving you facts as I understand them. Fauci was all up in that lab and making money, and kept the HIV he knew all about in France. 80s and 90s. And I'm sure created a lot of the DDI and AGT and stuff they were going to cure that with too. That they charged a fortune for each patient that qualified. But they didn't consider what was in that medicine, you know, nuclear medicine. Might make your kid really super sick and shit his pants everywhere and puke everywhere while you're trying to have a dinner. How much that kid, poor baby, suffered, my son Jacob. Taking that chip, and you created the virus. And here we are again. Now you're saying you're going to put us in encampments. I don't think people are that stupid. And maybe you will, but I'll tell you what, you come to my doorstep, I'm going to put you on Facebook Live while you blow my fucking face off. Because you will blow my face off under Almighty God and every witness under heaven. If you try to round anybody up, that's innocent. I don't know. Once you round up all the guilties like the Faucis and the Bidens and the Clintons and the Obama nations and bring in, Bill Clinton, Cheney, Colin Powell, Bush. You know what happens when you get a Bush and a Colin and a Dick together? Well, Dick Cheney, Colin Powell, and George Bush. And yeah, they screwed us and got us into Iraq on a lie. Portable anthrax labs, my ass. Gave you good reason to get in there, though. But there was no proof. I am a dictionary of dictation of facts. You go back and check the facts. I'll give you a quick history lesson. And we went to Iraq when we should have been in Saudi Arabia looking for Osama bin Laden. He wasn't even freaking in Iraq, was he? But you use it as a great freaking excuse to get in there. And go a whoremonger and warmongering. And killing innocent Iraqis. After 9/11, after you killed our own people, George Bush, while you sat there and read that book. Upside down, the goat book that you knew so by heart. You read it upside down and backwards, George. To those nice, sweet little black children who you're really prejudiced against, obviously. Because you're sitting there reading a little book while people are dying in our country. Oh, God. And then 9/11, you took away all of our rights. Because of that, the Privacy Act. Remember that? You enacted the Privacy Act where all bets were off and all communications could be monitored. Thank you, Bush. I guess America needed your monetization much more. Yeah. And then let's take Cheney, for example. Yeah, you see that little fly in there? That's Cheney. The dead fly, the dead insect. Let's talk about the BP Earth spill in Louisiana, shall we? Let's do a little history. Wasn't that long ago. Let's do a 10-year flashback or so. Jesse with BP Earthwatch will definitely know. And isn't it interesting how Dick Cheney bought the cleanup company 3 days prior to that sucker catching fire? And it killed the whole fishing industry in Louisiana. All of this shrimp, everything was polluted from that chit. And they couldn't plug that chit up. It's probably still leaking today. I very rarely ever eat shrimp or seafood like that, no. And let alone what's happening with the shrimp farms in wherever we're getting them from. They're feeding these shrimp junk and yuck. And people are eating that shit. I wouldn't be. And I'm a seafaring person. But I'll eat out of a stream if it's not mercury. Or poisoned with chemicals and giving... Oh, that's okay. Alright, let's take the Zika virus, for example. The Zika virus, they say, was transmitted by a mosquito. Okay? But the virus wasn't really that bad, really. It was the pesticide they designed to get rid of the mosquito that caused the birth deformities in kids with no brains back in 10 years ago. Dow Chemical, Monsanto's, Dick Cheney. You know, what was that? You spraying that stuff in Florida for Zika, didn't you? Yeah. You have a lot of responsibility and blood on you. And I knew far too much about history, and you could check my facts checks, and I'm about 80-20. Unfortunately for me, I remember all these little details. Okay, so you went on, made a lot of money on that cleanup, didn't you, Dick? Yeah. Boy, you sure pulled the Art Cheneys, didn't you? Yeah, so all the pesticides, let alone, you know, the chemical fires in Texas not that long ago. What, that was just last year or so, 2 years, where all those barrels caught on fire and all that fingernail polish remover went up in the air. You just stop and breathe. I'm sure a lot of people are affected by that. But do you accept any responsibility for the chemicals you put? What about Dow and all that Lysol, all that crap you dumped in Mother Earth, polluting her, good God? When all she needed was vinegar. And you sold fear and we bought it. I know, I drank a bottle of Swipe. It's now called 409. When I was 2 or 3 years old. 3 years old, actually.
I drink bleach.
Yeah. Joey drank bleach. About killed his tips. Seriously, I died in that one. The priest gave me my last ride. That was it, man. My parents never prayed so hard. And they spent everything on it. And I lived. I live. By the grace of God, I live. It's just another proof of what God can get us through. God got Joey through drinking bleach. Come on, jeez. And what else has God got us through? We've been mighty blessed. We've been mighty blessed. But there are people who are responsible for these pesticides. And how they're killing our bees, these pesticides too. They're causing deformities. Pesticides you use on plants, GMOs, all that, it's messing with all of them. But you got to have your chemicals. And all the garbage in the Philippines and the garbage they dump in the Pacific from Hawaii on barges. I'm sure the sea life just, yeah, they got a really great deal out of that. And they're all dead on the Pacific right now.
Hawaii, that's China.
Yeah, they're all dead. No, China does it. Japan does it. Where's their garbage going to go in Japan? You going to pile it up on the island? No, it's going to go in the sea. Much like Fukushima, let's go there. I mean, Fukushima, I'm sorry. I never know how to pronounce that. Kind of like I don't know how to pronounce Camilla. Camelia. Chameleon? Camelia. Camel toe? Kamala. You're really, really smaller. You just care about photo opas. But you won't go down the border and really see what's going on there because you don't care. Quite frankly. You do a photo op 80 miles away. But you won't go down into the grit where you need to be. I'd say you're kind of a pussy.
That's one thing we could do. Take it to a negative positive.
How's that?
To go out there at that one place that's all, man, the ocean is full of plastic. Go clean a major still use all that.
Yeah.
Negative still use it in positive and clean up the whole universe.
Oh, hey, we pick up trash where we go. We picked up a lot of trash and hauled in by huh? Yeah, we don't leave it out there. And yeah, the kids have been doing that. They pick up on residents on that. That's really great. Joe, I love you. You have great ideas. And kids have been doing that. And we need more of that. But, however, it's, yeah, it's a great thing to do.
And replenishes the planet.
Yeah. Well, Mother Earth's had enough of the dirt. And it's time for a refueling. And she's tired. She is so tired, loves. Mother Earth is so tired.
Protecting us.
She is so tired. She's so tired. She really is. And she's ready, to be arisen and rising up. Kind of like the White Phoenix, I guess, the only way I can describe it. And ascend into the 5D and rise above this in frequency because it's really not nice nasty. And there are promises in the 22nd of Revelations. There are promises, there are. And I'd like to read them if you'd bear with me. In the spirit, And we got the radiant. We have the radiant rider who waits. Oh, radiant rider, wait. And holding that brilliant light. Isn't that pretty? Yeah, look at that light. It's bright. Yeah, and I didn't pick up tarot cards till like a month ago. Really. But my mother showed me when I was a little girl. I think I was all of 10. Like that. Yeah. And she showed me how to use them. Gave me a brief description. And yeah, I didn't ever touch them again. Or Ouija boards or nothing like that. Or witchcraft books or nothing like that. No, she said, Laura, you just be a natural. You'll know when the time is ready. You'll have the skill. You'll know what to do. Don't worry, baby. Got a clue. And even though you wear a combat boot for a shoe, that's okay. We're going to get that all surgeried up and fixed. But right now we're worried about the lower back because that's a stack. And I have to stay down, loves. I have to stay down and heal because my body just reeling with the feel, let me tell you. I am hurting like a big dog and yeah. And we use our connoisseur. And let's see if you can see the connoisseur card. It's a great place to go in Pueblo. It's gold, but it's the connoisseur, if you can see that. I like to shine a light on connoisseur because that's a great place to go. Connoisseur in Pueblo to get all of your cannabis needs met and get a good deal while you're at it. Yeah. See how the other side looks. Oh, there we go. Oh, it's a punch card. Good. Yeah, good point. Yeah, they rock. They do over there. They got a great staff. And they know what they're doing. And they're very helpful. So I like Connoisseur. Because it's all natural. And we're getting there. And it's morale. Yeah. And that yeah. Yeah. And, you know, hey, we're not irresponsible. We're not Cheech and Chong driving down with a big bazongo. No, we're very responsible. If, you know, I wait to smoke. If I know if I'm going to drive, I won't smoke. I'll wait till I get home and say, okay, let's get through this. You know, we could do this. And I'll smoke when I get home, and then I can just crash and just relax and just stop and really take care of myself because I can't walk. It hurts anyway. I can make myself, but you don't know how much it hurts in the butt. And I never leave my butts. I carry them everywhere. We don't pollute. We give a hoot. Yeah. So let's move on to the 22nd chapter because, you know, according to, you know, what I see happening. What happened to my Bob Marley? Oh, so according to what I see happening with COVID and so-called, you know, rumors of these FEMA camps, that's not going to go over very well. People have to start fleeing their homes now. I mean, come on. Only God can do something this big, guys. Only Heavenly Father can bring all this to light. And all these corrupt politicians, you know, Hillary Clinton, Abedin, shall we forget that Hillary was in charge of the State Department and everything that happened in Oregon on the mineral rights for Lavoy Finnegan and how they were stealing the land through the Bureau of Land Management on those ranches. We know exactly what they were doing. And they sold uranium to Russia. Yeah.